Hi everybody. Today I have for you a treat especial. Not really. AirPods. So as the sales pitch on AliExpress goes for these little tiny batteries, the AirPod version 1 and version 2 are getting on in years now. So it's going to be time that a lot of them are going to be coming in for battery changes. So this isn't the battery in the AirPods case that I'm doing. What I'm doing, excuse me, is the battery in the AirPod itself. So customer complains that one AirPod has too short of battery life. He only gets about 10 minutes of battery life out of only one of his AirPods. Probably the one that he used all the time, that was in one ear, that you're always using, just wore the battery out faster. So we are going to open this thing and get a new battery inside. Not for the faint of heart. I don't recommend this job. If you're persistent on wanting to do this, go ahead and watch the video, see what it is. We're going to sit here in real time. I'm going to show you what it takes to take this thing apart, get the battery out of it, and put a new battery in. Hopefully this goes well, because this is live, and yeah, this is not easy, this is not fun. It takes a lot of patience and a lot of steady hand. So, let's get into it. So what I have, I bought the Quanli AirPods holder. You don't need it, but this made everything a lot easier. Wonderful. You definitely need good tweezers. I took a lot of people show you taking the tweezers and bending them in like knitting needles and using them to pull the battery out. I used a dental tool. I think a dental tool is a lot better option to bend over into a little hook like this to pull the battery out than using some good tweezers. I'd rather ruin a good dental tool than ruin good tweezers. And then we have the Quanli underfill remover. That'll just get around the battery and get all the glue out, and you never know when you need a X-Acto knife. So, first thing I'm going to do... Hey, Pedro. Can't go to sleep now, sorry. We locate the side for the right ear AirPod. Put that in there, and we close the clamp down on it. So this fixture is pretty neat. It has a bunch of different areas. This is for removing the front cover off of the AirPod. This is for reinstalling the front cover. It puts pressure down on it after you get the glue in there. These hold them so that you can work on the battery in the end. And I'm not exactly sure what these are for, but what I did use it for was I put a piece of foam, we'll see this at the end, I put a piece of foam underneath here, cut a little square out, and then put a rubber band on this so it pushes it into the foam and holds this down while the glue dries. So a really useful little fixture. So first find the right side holder. We're working on the right earbud today. Close it down. Just finger tight, don't go crazy on it. It's nice and tight in there. And now we can start working on it. I have it here in my holder. And we have an issue with this one. You can see that it's already starting to split. I'm hoping that this isn't going to be, this could be a really short video, because if this is splitting because the battery inside here is expanding, that might be just death to this. But the first thing I'm going to do is coat this in Kapton tape, just to try to help protect the plastic. And especially with that split in there, I want to make sure that I don't split it anymore, that the split doesn't go down any farther. So I'm just going to take some Kapton tape, get it right up to the end. I got some layers of Kapton tape on there, and the battery's already puffing out. Oh boy. So wherever possible, I don't like using tools. I have these fingernails. I keep my fingernails, especially on my thumb. They're very useful for stuff like this. So instead of using a tool, just use my fingernail, gently pry all the way around this. Now when we get this out, this is going to flip off to the side, and there's a ribbon cable that goes to the microphone at the bottom here. So we need to make sure we find which side that is. And you can see that there's nothing here, so then the ribbon cable's on the other side. So we don't want to pull up on this side too hard, because we might rip that ribbon cable, and that's not good. And we got it somewhat open. So start getting the tweezers in here and pulling out some of this glue. Break through the glue. So this job is just be patient, be methodical, keep working at it. And I don't know how, like, my sight's pretty good, but I don't know how people do this without a microscope. I've seen a bunch of videos of this, and I don't know how everybody's doing it without a microscope. Why do they need to glue everything these days? I know. That is my thought, too. Everything's either glued or heat staked. Heat stakes are the worst. Like, I'd rather have glue, especially this soft glue. I'd rather have this soft glue than heat stakes. At least they didn't radio weld this on here. They could have done that option. Oh, geez, I should have never said it. I gave them an idea. They could have just radio welded on, and then this cap would be melted into the other cap, and then there's never taking it apart. At least they didn't do that. Just be real gentle with it, barely providing any force to it. Okay, I think I'm going to get in here with the Quanley underfill scraper now, this hook. Start just cutting through the glue. Gotta be careful with that ribbon cable in the back there. I want to make sure I'm only hooking onto the glue, cutting through the glue. Sorry, this is not very steady work. I'm holding it at all different angles. The video, this is not going to be very nice. Okay, I just got a couple tendrils left. It's unfocused for me too. Okay, we can see the top of our battery in there. How much do you charge for this? I doubt people would pay very much for this. I am not charging enough for this. So, right now, I'm a little bit cheaper than switching out your earbuds, because there's a company that does this, and you can switch out your earbuds. They have like a core charge, and they'll send you new earbuds for $60. I am $25 per side, so $50 if you want both changed. Sometimes I'll work with you too. I'll do 50 for doing both. The batteries aren't that expensive. It's just so time consuming doing this, and there's so much risk of destroying this thing too. Yes, this does take way longer than $50, but to get business, you need to be competitive. And if somebody online is offering it for $60, well, and it's a reputable type place for this stuff too. Like I wouldn't compete against somebody that's on eBay or something. Like you have those people on eBay that are offering MacBook Logic board repair for $20. Like no, no. If that's what you want to spend, you go on with the $20 repair and let's see what happens. I'll see you in a month when you come back. So this is one of the connections for the battery that we're looking at here. We have to unsolder this. When we look at the new battery, this little connection here, that's what we're seeing on the top, this wire. So it's really funny, I saw a bunch of tutorials on this before the first one that I took in, and everybody makes it look so fast and so easy. They just fast forward through all the stuff and everything. I may make a video out of this, but I will definitely preface it a lot with, this does not take as short as you're seeing. This is not as easy as this fast forward video. If you want to see what it takes to get this apart, see my full video. Okay, I think I'm going to unsolder this first before we go any farther. Okay, you got to be real careful getting a soldering iron in here because you don't want to melt the plastic right here, and you can't burn through the ribbon cable or you're really done. So, right, I have the I-tip on my micro pencil. And if you can use the I-tip, you see how small all of this is compared to it. I need a little bit of flux on there. You get my tweezers under the battery cable, which seems to be all coated in glue. It's giving me a hard time. There we go. I think I got it. Starting to come up. I think I need some fresh solder on this. Either my tip is too dry or there's not enough solder to transfer the heat. So I'll get some fresh solder on it. Now the heat should transfer better. There we go. Unsoldered. Hello, Alex. How are you? And the other side, Once we unsolder it, the ribbon cable will get out of our way a little bit better. The other side is just a tab. There we go, we can see everything a lot better there. Let's unsolder that tab. Why am I making myself miserable? I don't know, Kopaz. It's a combination of I need the jobs, but I don't need the jobs bad enough that I should take something like this, but yet he couldn't find anybody else to do this job. And it's like, I like being that guy that when everybody else fails you, I want to be the guy that can do it. Okay, now all this glue here, the glue is only on the top for the battery. Well, the bottom, what we're looking at. This is only the glue. There's no other glue on the inside of it. It only slumps in a little bit. So if we clean this as best we can, the battery should come out pretty easily. You could also use a little bit of alcohol in here. That helps with this glue. So I'll just dip my hook in some alcohol. No, thank God they didn't use some kind of epoxy or anything. This is a nice rubbery glue. It stays rubbery. I think I should get this out of the way. I don't want the battery shorting itself. It is not coming off. I'll break this tab off of here. I want it having contact with the other side and shorting. Oh no, Kopaz is building batteries. Everybody beware. Something's going to explode up in New York. I don't know, yours is probably better than the one Lewis bought for his bike. That first one, and the second one. The wireless antenna is down in here too. You don't want to chew that up. There's also a possibility of pulling it out with the battery. We got to be careful that we don't do that. Ultrasonic welding for batteries. I haven't seen that. Is that something you can get for home use? Because a spot welder I've seen, and it works really good home use. Let's pick some of this out of here. You can see the barrel of the battery and the antenna next to it. One of the tricks with all of this is keeping your hand steady and only allowing a small amount of movement. So I have all of my fingers here together, they're all like crushing into each other. So when I do slip, I only slip that much. I can only slip like that. I'm like if I just had one hand here and it finally lets go, all of a sudden, wham, all the way out of frame and everything. Here, if I'm holding everything together, when it lets go, when it slips, I can only move it a couple millimeters. Get some more alcohol on it. I'm thinking I might need serrated tweezers or something rather than smooth tweezers. Should either try making some serrations and some tweezers or finding some thin tweezers like this that have serrations in them. Yeah, this is a good amount of work, and no, I can't charge a lot for it. Yeah, it's not. If I was busy, I would say no to every single one of these that came here. Which I'm kind of busy now, but when I said yes to this, I was not busy. that plastic ring that just came up, we want to keep this. This will go back onto the new battery too. It's like watching somebody struggle with a tough pimple on those pimple popping videos. Well, Copas, I don't think they die often enough, but the thing is that the first and second generation is old enough that all the batteries are going to start going soon. So for people that want to hold on to their devices, their earbuds, there's going to be a lot of these getting requested. You can see we can get all the way down next to the battery now. There's no glue that way. Let's work on this side. Okay, we're pretty well clear of glue. So now what I found that helps is I'm going to take this out of its case, the holder here. I'm going to roll the case in my fingers a little bit. So this plastic is thin enough that I'm deforming it. Just rolling it in here seems to loosen up the battery a little bit. And we'll get in there with my somewhat modified dental tool. Hook into the battery and start pulling it out. Nice and easy, and keep an eye on the antenna, that the antenna is not moving with it. You got to watch that ribbon cable, that you're not putting too much force on this ribbon cable. That's the money shot. Boom. There's our old battery. For all you playing at home, there's the Apple part number, A21007424A. Here's our replacement. Now I'll bend the tab up in this. Let's clean out the... We'll take a look in the earbud first. Make sure there's no debris left or anything. Anything fell to the bottom or something. AirPods are the biggest scam in retail. People swear by them. People really love them. I don't like the shape, or maybe I don't like my ears don't like the shape of AirPods. I've tried wearing the AirPods, I've tried wearing the earbuds. They fall out of my ear constantly. I have not tried the AirPod Pros. I'm thinking the AirPod Pros would work in my ear because they have the cushion. And the jobbers that I wear all the time, they're perfect. Even them though, they fall out of one of my ears quite often. Okay, we'll run a Q-tip down there. Just clean everything out. Okay, I gotta take some of the fuzz off the Q-tip, it's too thick. Looks nice and clean. I think we're ready to put the new one in. Okay. Unfortunately, they put some kind of painter's tape or masking tape or something like that on this. It's a real pain in the ass to take off. See if it just slides off on this one. There you go. This is not the strongest thing in the world. Okay, so this tab needs to get soldered to that. So that's the way we want to put it in. And this this cable is going to go along the side of the battery. Or I mean, along the side of the battery, along the side of the antenna. So it's inserted just like that. I think we pushed in the cable. We pushed in the ribbon cable. We got to pull this back out. Oh, how do I grip it? Get some pliers in. Okay, I think I need some better pliers. Oh, there we go. Okay. Snagged the that ribbon cable and pulled it in. I gotta be a little bit more careful with that. Maybe I should, yeah, I should probably clean that out. There's some glue behind the ribbon cable. You don't want anything pushing the ribbon cable up into it. There we go. Okay, now we'll keep an eye on that ribbon cable, make sure it doesn't get pushed in. There we go. So now we'll solder that. So first, yeah, I'll tin this a little bit. Put a little bit of fresh solder on here, and then we'll fold it up to meet that. Solder it, and then we'll fold it all back down. So I don't think I'm going to need any flux in here. The flux in the solder should be enough for this. A little bit too much solder. And when you're doing this, you need to be conscious of the end of the earbud. You need to come in at a very steep angle, because if you even just hold this soldering iron near the plastic, it will shrink the plastic. Like I could display that with this. We don't even have to touch this, and it will start shrinking the plastic away. So you have to be real careful where you're at with it. Okay, we could fold that back up. Actually, I'm going to put a little bit of flux in it. You want to talk about a Paul amount of flux. It's about a half a Paul of flux. Okay. Let's see if I get this on a better angle. Put an X-Acto blade under it. There we go. And when I talk about coming in at a steep angle for this, you can see I have a cup here. I just have a cup next to where I'm working. That's where my soldering iron hand goes, and it puts my hand at a firm base, and I'm facing down into the work. So then I'm at a good steep angle into it, and I have a solid base. Don't try holding your hand out here and do this. You're going to be shaking too much. You're going to wind up touching the plastic. You need a nice firm base to put your hand on, and then you can work into it. So we'll just squeeze it together with some tweezers. There we go. Trying to get rid of some of that excess solder. It's a little bit too much solder there. That looks good. I thought this repair would be impossible. For all intents and purposes, it probably is impossible. I don't know any other shops that would do this. Maybe some foam repair guys out there wouldn't mind doing this work. I don't know. Everybody's pretty busy with stuff to be able to do this. I'm sure once I get a couple more done, I'll be faster with it. But getting the first couple under your belt is not easy. Okay, that's lining up. The inspection holes there, well, they're inspection holes and solder through holes, so the solder will flow all the way through. That'll show you if you're in the right position, so we can see that we're going to contact it. Fold this over a little bit more. Now we'll put some flux on this. And reasonable dexterity. Oh, good night, Pedro. Reasonable dexterity, Copaz, and this is, I think you need more than reasonable. This is unreasonable dexterity, really. Now I'll get a little bit of new solder on my tip. I'm holding the solder in the air, that's why it's moving so much. And it's not staying. Okay. Tip is cleaned. Got a little ball of solder on it. We're going to push that down into there. I'll just give it one more hit of heat. There we go. There you go. Changed battery. Now we have to fill this all with glue. But before we do that, I'm going to pop it into the charger and make sure it's charging okay. Hello, overhead. Hello, overhead camera. go. Hi, overhead. Glad you could join us. So take that out. Pop this one down in there. Wait for the light to turn off. Okay, maybe I won't wait for the light to turn off. There we go. I don't have any life. I don't have any life. There we go. It's charging. I don't know if you can see that. Let me dim the lights a little bit. You can see there's a green light there. Pop it in. Orange light. AirPod is charging. So now we go on to gluing. I'll put it back in this holder. Open it back up. And we'll just fill that with glue like it was. I have the, where'd it go? The B7000. The first one I did, so the glue that I took out of there felt really familiar. So I wound up using this 3M Scotch Grip plastic adhesive. This is for automotive usage, for bonding plastic panels and stuff. It's also known as Gorilla Snot in the industry. And it seems to be the exact same stuff, but just for the hell of it, I bought the stuff that you're told to use, and I'm going to see, for my own usage, I'm going to see how different this is from the 3M Scotch Grip. Oh, I like that the cover is a needle that clears the whole thing. So this is very clear. So you saw that the stuff that was in there was yellow. And I don't think that's just from age or anything like that. I think it actually is yellow, which is what the 3M Scotch Grip is. So the consistency and the color made me think of this stuff right away. So that's the 3M Scotch Grip. It's very rubbery. It's almost like melted hot glue, but cold. And yeah, it's called Gorilla Snot for a reason. So right away, seeing this stuff, that it's clear. Wow, that was a lot of air in that bottle. It feels the exact same as, well, actually it's a little bit thinner, but that Scotch Grip is kind of old. It smells the same. So yeah, I think this B7000 is pretty much the same stuff as the 3M Scotch Grip. Mikey, hey, how's it going? Okay, so I don't want to go crazy with it. I'm gonna, I guess, put as much as was in here, just around the edges a little bit, and leave some room because this is going down into it a bit. I don't want too much shooting out the sides. Okay, only a little bit shot out the side. And yes, it's going to come back out. You need to, so we'll use this holder again. I'll show you how I did that. Oop, overhead. Change. Overhead. Work this time. Overhead did not work. Hello. Overhead. Yes. So I have here, this is the closed cell foam stuff that comes when you buy some batteries. It has this white hard foam guarding the battery. I just cut a strip of it. I'm just going to cut a little square of it. So I have a little square of foam. I'll take this out of the holder where it is. So this is the right earbud, this is the right side. I'm going to put the square of foam in the very bottom. And then I'm going to slide the earbud into that square of foam. And when you push down on here, it pushes into that square of foam. So I'm going to take some big fat rubber bands. So I have some produce rubber bands here. I'm just going to put that around the whole thing. Now that the rubber band force is pushing it down, and pushing into there. So it's being held in. I'll go around again. And now we have a good positive rubber band force pushing that up in there. And I will leave this for 24 hours to dry. And this thing will be done. This one was already done. But this one's being held together by the 3M Scotch grip, which seems just as good as the B7000 that they tell you to buy. But I do like the packaging of that. I love that needle that goes all the way down in there. That's great. So there you go. Successful AirPod battery change. So yeah, this is not easy. I probably make it look a little easier than it is. If you want to do this, try it on somebody. Find some dead ones or something like that. Try it on yours. Don't do this for anybody until you've done it prior. Until you've done it somewhere else on something else that doesn't matter. Unless you have a microscope and equipment like this, use the tiny soldering tip. I wouldn't even use the knife tip. I wouldn't use the knife tip. You need the tiny little eye tip. I think it's an I-30. Yeah, T30i is the tip that I used on the Hacko. And yeah, the normal one is the T30KN. That's too big. Use the T30i. And yeah, definitely get something that gives you a good base. And yeah, successful. Is it worth it? Well, so there's a company out there that will change these out for you for $60. You just mail in yours and they'll mail you back, or vice versa, they'll mail you back and then they charge you a bunch and then they give you a refund when you mail yours back into them. And they're refurbished just like this. There'll be new batteries in there. I don't know if they change the battery in the case too, but that might be an option for you. I'm doing one battery, one side only for $25. I'll do both of them for I guess 45, 50, depending. No, 50's yeah, 25 for one, 50 for two. I'll usually lower down some. This gentleman mailed me his from South Jersey, and he even provided me with a postage paid envelope to send them back and everything. So I'm gonna give him a discount on it. He's gonna pay a little bit less because he gave me postage both ways and everything like that. So in 24 hours, when that's dried, I'll give it a good test and look at it, and this will be on its way back to the customer. So, nice seeing everybody. Thanks for hanging out. I have a couple more repairs coming up. Got a hard drive data recovery. It's physical damage to the hard drive. See if I can do that on stream. I have a 1278 over there that has some liquid damage. Might do that on stream. So I might be back later today. Might do a couple streams. Even though YouTube doesn't like that if you go live a couple times a day. But I don't care. I'm not getting that many views as it is. Okay, I'll see you guys later.